There she is, everybody, the Samsung Galaxy S3. Finally, we have it here in Canada. It was announced a few days ago. A little bit different from the international version. It does not come with a quad-core Exynos chip, but it does come with 2 GB of RAM. So it's a trade-off, but here she is. This is not our full review. This is a little preview for you. You can see this is the marble white version. It will also come in pebble blue. It looks gorgeous. It really does look better in person than on screen. So if you are biased against this device for whatever reason, it doesn't look like your Galaxy S2, it's too round, it's too white, it's too whatever, it is a really nice device. Samsung's done a great job with it. You can see that there is the dedicated home button here. It looks great, feels great in the hand as well. So let's just take a quick look at the hardware. You can see it's a 4.8-inch HD Super AMOLED display, resolution of 1280 by 720, so 720p. You can see that beautiful animation here. This is running a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon S4 processor, the same processor, same speed as the HTC One X in the North America as well. So, as I said in the review of the One X, it's a bit of a trade-off. You have a bit more, you have much better single and dual-threaded CPU performance, but it's lacking a little bit in the gaming department. So, as opposed to the Exynos processor in the i9300, the international version, it's a little bit slower in games, gaming performance, but this thing benchmarks like a beast, and it is definitely one of the fastest devices you can get on the market. Samsung's done a great job with its Nature UX. You can see everything runs ridiculously smooth. Comes with Flipboard, as you know, and also first time in North America, or first time in Canada rather, is Samsung's Video Hub. So you can actually purchase videos now in addition to music on the Music Hub. You got some pretty good deals here, but I'm going to turn off the screen, getting ahead of myself. Let's just take you through the hardware. So on the bottom here you have 3 buttons. You have 2 capacitive buttons, menu, home, and back. It's actually flipped from the majority of Android devices recently, especially the HTC One X, which actually has the opposite button coordination, but it also has the multitasking button, which this one does not have. We'll go through that in a minute. On the left side of the device is a volume rocker and this chrome piece here. Now, you're going to say it looks a little bit garish, it looks a little bit too shiny. It doesn't actually feel all that shiny. It doesn't look too bad. I'm not a huge fan of the silver here surrounding the device. I'd prefer to have it a uniform color, but it's not bad on the eyes at all. In terms of build quality, however, Samsung has improved this dramatically. This is covered with Hyperglaze. It's a coating that prevents scratches, in addition to the Gorilla Glass 2 on the front. You also have your sensors here, and a 1.9 megapixel front-facing camera. Nice Samsung headpiece here with the logo. There's no branding here at all. Getting up and close and personal with the home button, you can see that it is a little bit delineated there. You can see it just pops out, but it feels very comfortable to hold. It's a little bit awkward at first because it's not quite as long, it's not quite as tall as the previous version. I don't have a Galaxy S2 here to compare it to, but suffice it to say it's a little bit shorter, but it's a little bit wider as well, so it makes up for it. It looks great, actually. I really like it. On the right-hand side of the device, you have the seminal Samsung power buttons in the same place every time for consistency's sake. You have a 3.5mm headphone jack. It also says Qualcomm 4G here. Any device that comes with a Qualcomm LTE chipset inside of it comes with this sticker. Also a secondary microphone for noise cancellation. And on the bottom, you have the primary microphone and a micro USB port for all your dock-based accessories right in the middle there. On the back, we have the Samsung logo, 8 megapixel camera here with an LED flash, excellent camera performance. You have a nice little speaker as well here. Looks a little bit like a car grill. I actually like it a lot. Flipping the cover right off, you can see similar piece of plastic to the Galaxy Nexus and other recent Samsung devices. You have a micro SIM slot here and a micro SD card slot for expandable storage. This is the 16 gigabyte version, will come as well in a 32 gig with a 64 gig version to follow shortly. 2100 milliamp hour battery here, and you can see that the device model number i747, so a little bit different from the international version. The cover snaps on much more easily than the Galaxy Nexus. I really like that. It doesn't look like it's going to break any of those clips, which I'm always worried about on the Galaxy Nexus. You see here, it's got that nice curved design. It's really comfortable to hold in the hand despite its size. Just to give a bit of a size comparison, that is the HTC One X, and the One X is a little bit thicker, feels a little bit more substantial. Also not quite as comfortable to hold in the hand. It's a little bit wider, and the white is brighter, but I feel like the Galaxy S3 is a little bit more comfortable. So it's up to you. Also, the One X has that protruding camera sensor here, which I'm always worried is going to scratch the glass. Hasn't yet, but always worry that it will. No doubt that the One X is a beautiful device. Let's not kid ourselves for a second. The Galaxy S3 is beautiful in its own way. A lot of people are going to prefer it. It really is much more comfortable to hold in the hand than the One X. Going on to the next device here, here's the Galaxy Note, 5.3 inches, 4.8 inches. You can see a huge difference. Also, the Galaxy S3 took a little bit of the camera design from the Note. You can see that the LED flashes on opposite sides, but the camera sensor design itself is a little bit similar, but the textured backing is now gone in favor of that glossy backing with the hyperglaze, as I said. So Galaxy Note, you can see when I turn them on, so similar screen technologies here. Both of them are pentile HD displays. This is a bit larger resolution, but bigger screen size. So the Galaxy S3 display, very, very sharp. Nobody's going to complain about this despite the pentile array. I really think that they've improved this a lot since the Galaxy Nexus. Whites are much more accurate. You don't have that linen or textured look to it anymore. It looks clean. The blacks are absolute. Contrast is perfect, as you know, with an AMOLED display. Colors are a little bit sharper. I feel like a little bit more accurate than the Galaxy Nexus and previous Super AMOLED displays. Overall, viewing angles are pretty good and comparable to other devices in the same family. I don't know whether it's a better display or an inferior display to the One X just yet. I'm going to have to do a bunch of comparisons to that. Just subjectively, I think the One X has a little bit of a smoother texture to it due to the full RGB color and array there, but I really don't think that you're going to be losing out too much in terms of overall viewability. You can't see the individual pixels here. I can attest to that. You're going to take a look at this in store and you're not going to be able to see the pixels. If you can, you are going to have to wait at least until the next generation for Super AMOLED HD+, which will bring back the full RGB palette here. Until then, you're stuck with pentile. In terms of camera, you have a new interface here. It looks very similar, but you can take burst shots really quick. Interface is very similar to previous versions of TouchWiz. You can actually hold down and move the shortcuts that you use the most, so you can replace them if you want. The settings are just as full-featured as they used to be. You can adjust focus mode, exposures, scenes. You can take single shot, burst shot, HDR, which is new. The flash is nice and powerful. You can actually change it to the 1.9 megapixel front-facing camera quite easily. Although I don't like the fact that you actually have to go into the menu to get to the front-facing camera. It's not my favorite, but it's a one-touch change there, so it's a little bit easier than the HTC UI. Also, 1080p video is going to be really interesting to test out. The guys at iFixit tore this down a few days ago rather, and found that the camera sensor in here is, quote, virtually identical to the one in the iPhone 4S. So the iPhone 4S was previously considered to be the king of smartphone cameras. We'll take a look and see if that is still the case or whether the Galaxy S3 has improved that. Taking a look at the iPhone, you can just see the amount of size difference here. It really is a much bigger device overall, but still very slim. And talking about the iPhone, we of course have the S Voice. What is the weather like in Toronto?
Here is the weather for Toronto,
There we go.
Ontario.
So it responds sometimes accurately, other times not so much. It says there it is 15 degrees Fahrenheit, which is wrong. That's supposed to be Celsius. So there are a few kinks to work out. Obviously, Samsung will hopefully update that in the coming weeks before this is launched. It is running Android 4.0.4. So if we go into the settings there, you can see it's running one of the latest builds. And hopefully the developer community can take advantage of this particular device as opposed to the international version. You have lots of interesting settings here. You have Wi-Fi Direct, you also have the ability to set the LED indicator, which is actually hidden. It flashes blue when there's a notification. You also have the ability to change things such as Smart Stay, which is that awesome feature which detects your eyes and sees whether it is you're reading a piece of a web page or Instapaper or something like that, and it'll stay lit for as long as it detects that you are staring at the screen. The 2100 milliamp hour battery, I've been using this on and off all day. I'm at 39% with an 8 hours in. So it's actually pretty good so far. This is running on Bell's LTE network. A few other things in the settings menu here. You can change things such as motion. So there's tons of stuff here, such as Smart Alert. You can actually, like in iOS, you can tap the top of a list to go back to the top, which is nice. Tilt to zooms, you hold down, you press the screen with both thumbs and you can tilt it back and forth. Pan to browse images, shake to update, lots of stuff like that. So one of my favorite features, you want to take a screenshot, you just do this. And it takes a screenshot. Very, very cool. I really like all of these little, they may seem like gimmicks, but they actually work really, really well. So this has been a quick look at the Galaxy S3. We'll have a bit more of a comprehensive look at it once I have a few more days to play with it, but so far so good. I'm really, really enjoying it. Before we go, the important speed test. Getting ahead of myself here. So this is running Bell's network. We're approaching 27 megabits down and 13 megabits up. Quickly, while I'm here, bear with me. We're just going to do a quadrant test. I know everybody loves this silly benchmark, but it's got to be done. And let's see what this puppy gets. And we're looking at 5,099, which is a little bit higher than the HTC One X. That's the international version. And as you'll see in the hands-on, it actually comes fairly close to the HTC One X, but beats it by a little bit. So there you have it. It is the first look at the North American version of the Galaxy S3. So thank you so much for watching. This is Daniel with Mobile Syrup.